coming up in Bajoga.
Without education, any other background and expectation of our forefathers who were agitating for Gombe State wouldn't have been achieved. If it had been achieved up to today, then going forward the next 20 years we'll have great problems.
A School of Basic and Remedial Studies, SBRS, was established in Kumo under Gombe State University to offer opportunity to young men and women who need a second chance to make up for their educational deficiencies and missed opportunities. Dr. Dankwambo also invested heavily in Gombe State University's Faculty of Medical Sciences, which gave it the needed accreditation by the National Universities Commission and the Medical and Dental Council of Nigeria.
The government has expended over 600 million naira to provide all the necessary equipment for the take-up of the preclinical act. That has, the program has commenced, and we are thankful that everything is going well. For the clinical arm, the federal government has agreed for us to use the federal understanding, and as the federal teaching hospital. The construction work is going on close to the teaching hospital. The 7 billion naira investment is more than the investment in the whole of the university, because what has been expended so far to have this university running is less than 4 billion in terms of the structures component of the university. So far, the state government has invested 2 billion naira and the central bank of Nigeria has invested 1 billion naira. So that is the state of investment now. And we hope that before the students will finish from the clinical arm, the preclinical arm, the clinical arm will be ready and the students will conveniently have their programs and graduate within stipulated time.
Similarly, the School of Nursing and Health Technology have all been upgraded to colleges. But the infrastructural transformation that categorically put Gombe on the map was roads provision. From Balanga to Bajoga, Kwame to Kaltungo, the Dankwambo-inspired development revolution enveloped all nooks and crannies of Gombe State as hundreds of kilometers of urban and rural roads were designed and constructed. Take for instance the reconstructed 55-kilometer Kanawa de Bajagali Jaura Gotal Road. It is a trunk road linking Yamal to Deba, Balanga Telase and 2 other federal constituencies, cutting across 3 states of Gombe, Borno and Adamawa. Yet nowhere is the networking of roads by the Dankwambo administration more visible than the delightful capital, Gombe. In a logical and well-planned expansion, 4 corridors leading to and from important places and landmarks in the city were dualized.
We now have up to 8 dual carriageways in Gombe. Even the only dual carriage that was in existence at that time has been redeveloped. We have improved it.
The projects, designed to fit in with the new Gombe master plan, transform otherwise squalid areas into fantastic heavens of human habitation. But for archival pictures, many now can never recollect the difference.
I wish I had maybe the video of what was Gombe. Gombe was a glorified village.
As more people arrive and compensated residents move to new layouts, Gombe's expansion accelerates in leaps and bounds. As night gradually falls on the bustling city, all roads are kindled with street lights. If you care to explore the capital at night, you would vividly see what truly makes Gombe the jewel in the savannah. As part of this infrastructural expansion, a modern international conference center that fortifies Gombe as the hub of the northeast, is now adorning the city's landscape. The center is coming up alongside a 5-star hotel to make the city a compelling conference destination. Close to the center is a world-class trailer park built entirely with fire-resistant materials to house petroleum tankers and related articulated vehicles. As one of Gombe's most important projects in the last 20 years, Dr. Dankwambo's name was engraved in gold with the multi-billion naira Gombe Regional Water Rectification Works and Township Water Supply. Although a treatment plant was constructed, the absence of proper rectification within the capital and adjoining settlements meant that the state was only halfway through the project.
Prior to creation of Gombe State, we have only about 60 kilometer pipeline. But after creation of Gombe State, it reached about 100. But with the coming of this administration, the pipeline was increased to about 170 kilometers to about 260 kilometers, so that each and every corner of Gombe's metropolis has this pipeline.
The rectification brought succor to millions of people in Gombe new layouts and distant areas of Kwani, Gadam and Bojude. Design and arrangements have already been concluded for the Gombe South Regional Water Scheme, which will draw raw water from the multipurpose Balanga Dam. In agriculture, which caters for the livelihood of the majority population, modern methods and technologies are being given priority to strengthen value chains, improve crop yield, increase farmer income, and ensure food security.
Yield per hectare, as documented by the Federal Ministry of Agri, increased from 82% to 430%.
Leveraging on Gombe's entrepreneurial culture, the Dankwambo administration partners the Bank of Industry in empowering entrepreneurs.
The outcome of this particular initiative was the creation of about 140 enterprises that are today flourishing, and each engaging a minimum of 10 employees.
This wind of change that swept into Gombe State from October 1, 1996 has not only permeated all facets of life, but also made the jewel the most outstanding state ahead of peers in the country.
Gombe is growing big and big and big and bigger and bigger and bigger and is continuing.
We can compare favorably with many of our senior states.
And I must proudly tell you today, I can invite anybody to come to every nook and corner of Gombe State.
The Gombe development model in the last 2 decades is a good example of the vitality of democracy driven by good governance.
We want to thank God that we are able to get to Gombe State. It has brought government closer to the people.
The providential bout of good governance the state enjoyed over the last 20 years, the founding fathers believe, should be translated to industrialization in the coming 20 years.
We need industries because our teaming young people, educated young people.
And I think if we do that, one, we are going to stimulate the economy of the state. Secondly, we are going to create a lot of jobs, and then in fact a lot of revenue will be chunking into the coffers of the state government.
In fact, we are lucky that Governor Dangombo will lay the foundation for the next 20 years, because he has about 3 years in that 20 years to work as governor. And with his kind of foresight, honestly, I have not seen a person that is totally committed, not for personal gain, but totally committed to the service of his people like Governor Dangombo.
We are just entrusted to drive these resources, to channel them to the expectation of our people. So the expectation of our people going forward is to be able to put all these achievements by the 5 governors in the last 20 years and see how we will add jobs how we'll create wealth, how we'll uplift the average well-being and lifestyle of an average Gombe man. And the key thing is industrialization.
With its current development trajectory, Gombe State is poised for better days ahead.
NTA, you can't beat the rich.
The finals of the Men and Women African Cup of Nations. It's always frenetic. On days such as this, there are no tribes, no religion. Here, Nigerian warriors are out to represent.
Hello and welcome to News Extra. I'm Rhoda Albo sitting in tonight. As always, we've got a must-watch package. Now, the oil-rich region of the Niger Delta was one of the major considerations at the presidential villa this Wednesday, and we can tell you that a strategic measure has been taken towards finding a lasting solution to the numerous challenges facing the region. Also tonight, the world acknowledges the invaluable contribution of the most important group of professionals. Yes, their reward shouldn't only be in heaven, as we once thought. Nigeria joined the rest of the world to observe their day. You'll get more details on this platform tonight. Plus, the nation set to use its creative industry to revamp its ailing economy. Come with me as I take you through News Extra tonight. The federal government has approved the establishment of a National Council on Hydrocarbon as a strategic measure towards finding a lasting solution to the social, economic and security challenges in the oil-rich Niger Delta region. The Minister of State Petroleum, Dr. Emmanuel Ibe-Kachukwu, announced this while briefing newsmen after the Federal Executive Council meeting. State House correspondent Adamu Samba reports that 3 other memos on gas flare, power supply and justice delivery also scaled through.
The Federal Executive Council meeting, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, deliberated extensively on the memo by the Minister of State for Petroleum, Dr. Ibe-Kachukwu, on the situation in the nation's oil industry, the Niger Delta region and the economy. Its recommendations on the need to revive the National Council on Hydrocarbons that went into oblivion was unanimously approved. It is expected to serve as ombudsman that meets in extraordinary times to review policy decisions and actions towards achieving stability in Nigeria's oil industry and the production environment.
It should be a gathering of people from the business sector, people from the oil sector, people from the communities where oil is produced, ministries that are directly or indirectly affected by some of the policies that we roll out in the Ministry of Petroleum. The criticality of that is that as we continue the dialogue that we've been having and preparing for much more intensive dialogue with militants, creating such a fora enables everybody who has an interest, one way or the other, to converge and to help develop a thinking process that will guide policies in this sector.
Dr. Kachiku, who also secured the Council's approval for the hosting of an international gas flare reduction conference in the country next month, briefed members on the expected gains from the ministry's investment drive, otherwise known as the roadshow in China.
My target, the target we had when we went to China was to raise about 40 billion, which is the total cost of our total infrastructural gap for the oil industry. We raised about 75.6, 69 of which were government and NNPC related potential investments and loans, and the rest directly to the private sector. If we get even 20% of that, that will be a major achievement for us.
Another memo by the Minister of Power, Works and Housing on the purchase of new transformers for installation at Shiroro, Oshogbo and Kumbotso power substations also received the approval of the Council. This is aimed at expanding as well as enhancing the service delivery capacity of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
The purpose is to continue to reinforce, to expand and to maintain the existing transmission capacity so that as the progress of our incremental power initiative expands and achieves its purpose, the transmission system as the transporter is able to competently deliver the power.
Meanwhile, as a deliberate attempt towards strengthening the criminal justice system and decongesting the prisons, the government approved the purchase of 320 operational vehicles valued at about 3.5 billion naira for the nation's prison services.
We are making efforts to see how best we can improve in terms of conveying prison inmates to courts in particular, so that we do not jeopardize their chances of getting justice. And this has been happening because for a very long time the prison system has suffered lack of these operational vehicles, and as such quite a number of prisoners remain in prison longer than necessary because they do not have the opportunity to be conveyed to the courts.
With over 70% of the 65,000 prison inmates in Nigeria still awaiting trial, Interior Minister Abdurrahman Dambazo said critical steps have been taken towards achieving greater synergy between the courts, the police and prison authorities for speedy administration of justice and decongestion of prisons. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
A bill for an act to make provision for federal grants to Lagos State suffers a major setback after causing a mild strife on the floor of the Senate. Waziri Zeyanu has details of this and other proceedings at Wednesday's plenary.
In the bill, Senator Oluremi Tinubu sought the provision of special grant to Lagos State in recognition of its status as the former federal capital of Nigeria.
Available statistics indicate that 6 out of 10 international passengers arrive in Lagos, while 8 out of 10 depart from Lagos. This shows that Lagos is the window through which visitors traveling in and out of Nigeria view the country.
Contributions came for and against the bill.
We could have asked for a special status for Lagos. We've been asking for this all along. And if the special status issue comes around, it won't be only Lagos.
If we go and approve bills like this, there are very despondent states, like Enugu State, Zamfara State, all these states with historical antecedents like the Zungeru and all the rest. They will be asking for special assistance from federal government.
If Lagos is to be given a special attention, having been a state of the Federation, the FCT, the Constitution is expressly clear that it should be treated as if it were one of the states of the Federation.
Chief Whip Olushola Adeyeye then stirred the hornet nest when he described the Federal Capital Territory as a pampered child.
Until we have fiscal federalism, Lagos will not work. Until we have fiscal federalism, Calabar will not work. Until we have fiscal federalism, the FCT will not work. By the way, the FCT is a rotten, pampered child.
Please settle down. We are still in session, please. Settle down, please.
The chief whip took back his comment, and the bill was instantly killed through a voice vote, with the Deputy Senate President presiding. The bill for an act for the prohibition and protection of persons from lynching, mob action and execution, sponsored by Senator Dino Melaye, passed second reading.
This bill seeks to discourage the use of jungle justice by ensuring that the wheel of justice is well oiled.
In a related development, Senator Issa Misau's bill for an act to provide for punishment of offences of abduction and wrongful confinement for ransom also passed second reading.
The increasing spread of abduction across the country has left Nigerian in a state of terror.
This one too is an area where laws have been made by the various state governments on kidnapping and abduction.
While other countries in the world are doing R&D, research and development, to better their lives, our own research and development is how to come from one crime, modernize it to another.
At the end of it all, the Senate adjourned proceedings until tomorrow, Thursday. From the National Assembly, Wazir Zayan, Nta News.
Meanwhile, in commemoration of World Teachers' Day, members of the House of Representatives have urged government at all levels to empower teachers as agents of educational change in the lives of pupils and students they teach. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko has more on this and other resolutions at Wednesday's plenary.
Some of the major challenges to educational development in Nigeria have always been inadequate training and motivation of teachers. As the world celebrates Teachers' Day, House members observe that Nigeria's educational system will not witness the desired development without an improved welfare package for teachers.
Our teachers are suffering. Our school infrastructure is so decayed and dilapidated.
When they are well trained, they will go all out to deliver. The quality of teachers we have in this country today has also gone down.
To properly fund teaching and educational infrastructure.
A bill for an act to provide for the administration and management of sports in Nigeria, which seeks, among others, to give legal backing to the National Sports Commission, sponsored by Representative Abubakar Kanike from Kwara State, passed second reading.
You know that we have the Sports Commission, but it is not backed by any legislation. It was established by executive fiat.
This will serve as a game changer for sports and for sports development in Nigeria. Sports promises a lot in terms of diversification that we seek.
As we speak, there is no National Sports Commission.
We have abundance of talents in this country, but the problem is corrupt, primordial administration of sports in Nigeria.
The House resolved to investigate alleged unwholesome practice in the ongoing recruitment exercise by the Civil Service Commission, moved by Representative Henry Achibong from Akwa Ibom State.
The Federal Civil Service Commission's portal only opens sparingly between the hours of 2 a.m. and closes within 15 minutes.
Representative Ali Issa from Gombe State moved that the House investigates foreign exchange policies of the Central Bank of Nigeria. The committee is to report back to the House within 4 weeks.
The value of the Naira against dollar and the pound sterling continues to depreciate, further worsening the economic condition of the country.
I put the fault at the doorstep of the CBN.
The House has, however, urged the Inspector General of Police and the Department of State Security Services to ensure the prompt release of the kidnapped former Minister of Environment, Laurentia Malam, and her husband, Pius Malam, who were recently kidnapped from the National Assembly. Ignatius Nko, Nta News.
If the world must achieve primary education by 2030, there is a need to fill the teacher gap of 68.8 million at the primary and secondary school levels. This from part of issues at the 2016 World Teachers' Day celebration in Abuja, with the theme Valuing Teachers, Improving on Their Status. Franca Uzoma Olwa has details.
Nigerian teachers celebrating the limitless contributions they make in the society as destiny molders. Yet, the teaching profession remains the most wanted but least regarded, as many teachers are undertrained, underpaid and undervalued.
Many teachers still work with inadequate contracts and pay. They are sometimes victims of discrimination and even violent attacks.
I urge you to continue to be true representative of the ordinary teacher that is always in the classroom, sometime teaching under the tree.
The 2016 World Teachers' Day celebration, though low-key, provides opportunity for labor unions to make certain demands from the government.
If you size 99% of our leaders today, they have benefited from public education, which are free, which are of quality, and we know the standard of teaching then, and we know the position of teachers then. I think reverse is now the case.
How do we explain states where teachers are paid only in percentages? How do you describe a situation whereby teachers work meritoriously for 35 years, only for him to be denied his gratuity, his emolument and entitlement at the end of the day?
This year's celebration marks the 50th anniversary of the adoption of the UNESCO ILO recommendation on the status of teachers. As teachers celebrate their achievements globally, Nigerian teachers have urged governments at all levels to raise the status of the teaching profession by providing incentives in the form of appropriate salaries to create attractive career paths for them. Franca Uzoma Olwa, Nta News.
The trial of the Senate President Abubakar Bukola Saraki over alleged false declaration of asset has been resumed at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, with yet another setback as the tribunal turned down an application by the defense for the chairman to disqualify himself from presiding. Ali Tukur has details.
After over 3 months break, the Senate President arrived at the tribunal surrounded by security personnel, political associates and colleagues to hear the ruling on the motion filed by one of his counsel, Paul Irokoro. The motion is seeking the chairman of the tribunal, Alhaji Umar, to disqualify himself for the second time again from participating in the trial over alleged biased disposition. The motion came as a result of a statement by the chairman of the tribunal on 7th of June, where he said that the delay tactics employed by the defense team will not reduce the consequences the defendant will face at the end of the trial. Before the ruling, the chairman said his comment was made with a free mind and without prejudice to the Senate President and the trial. Delivering the ruling, the chairman said he cannot afford to step down from the trial because doing so will automatically stop the trial. He pointed that the 1999 Constitution conferred jurisdiction on asset declaration matters on the tribunal only, not any other court, and also makes provision for the chairman and 2 other members, adding that the moment he disqualifies himself, the tribunal will collapse because it must have a chairman. Dismissing the application, the chairman said the defendant can use the outcome of the ruling as a ground for appealing. After turning down the application filed by the defendant, the chairman of the tribunal adjourned the case to 7th and 8th of November for continuation. In Abuja, Ali Tukur, Nta News.
As the nation continues in the fight against corruption, acting chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Ibrahim Magu, has told Nigerians to expect more investigations, convictions and recovery of stolen assets. Ibrahim Magu stated this at the unveiling of a logo of Creative Youth Initiative Against Corruption held in Abuja. Edino Justice has the details.
The initiative, a non-governmental organization, is aimed at inculcating into young children moral values that will enable them to shun and fight corruption even at their levels. The EFCC acting chairman said the commission was equipped more than ever before to fight a winnable and sustainable fight against corruption in the country.
expect to see more investigations, more arrests, more trials. Our children must see that there is a future away from corruption and be encouraged to take that path of honor.
The initiator of the forum, Mrs. Foluke Michael, said the project will impact in children ethical values through mentorship, creativity, and use of online applications.
Our overall goal is to contribute to nation development through creative development with focus on war against corruption. We are going to be working with their creativity to develop Nigeria.
Other speakers and the children, through different presentations, demonstrated their resolve to stand against corruption in Nigeria. The project is one of the preventive initiatives of EFCC, which says the fight requires the support of all Nigerians. Arena Justice, NTA News.
Meanwhile, legal practitioners have called for the strict enforcement of laws and the adoption of other methods such as plea bargaining in the fight against corruption in Nigeria. They made the suggestions while examining the role of the legal profession in fighting corruption on NTA's Current Affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria. Patricia Isamiluba reports.
Corruption has done serious damage to Nigeria and Nigerians, leaving a trail of poverty, decay and deprivation as observed by analysts. As the current administration continues to enjoin all Nigerians to embrace the fight against corruption, the role of the legal profession is again eliciting discourse. While speaking on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria, Professor Epiphany Azingi suggested that the nation looks into the requirements of the burden of proof on the prosecution in corruption cases, which has not been effective.
We must start questioning the Constitution even, this presumption of innocence. Because in the continental system, they say you are presumed guilty until the contrary is proved. Here, constitutionally, we say you are presumed innocent. So you see, we have a fundamental problem.
Another senior advocate of Nigeria, Yusuf Olaolu Ali, says the lack of diligent prosecution is partly responsible for the failure of corruption case in the courts. He advised that proper plea bargain should be considered.
Plea bargain is not a bad thing, it's the way we practice it. As long as it's transparent, as long as there are rules that will guide it, as long as people will know that X, Y person has done this, and importantly, we should also be able to to know what happens to all the monies that are recovered as a result of plea bargain.
On his part, Justice Garba Tumaka believes the judiciary needs to be strengthened and properly equipped to deal with the many cases of corruption.
The total and financial independence of the judiciary, as it is right now, we still have that, as far as I'm concerned, only in the books.
In all, the guest advised Nigerians to abhor corruption and see that public monies are not looted in the first place, as this affects everyone negatively. In Abuja, Patricia A. Samiluba, NTA News.
Speaker, House of Representatives Yakubu Dogara has assured Nigerians that the House will ensure all necessary provision within the law to ensure transparency, accountability and due process in public service. He stated this at the inaugural meeting of the House Ad Hoc Committee on Insurance. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Izumba reports.
On 19th July, a resolution was passed mandating the committee to investigate alleged fraudulent multi-billion naira cash payments to government officials by insurance companies and to ascertain government fixed and non-fixed assets by way of return on premiums. Speaker, represented by Deputy Leader, told the committee to compel the head of service of the Federation and other government agencies to provide details of all premiums.
General and related government assets within the last 3 years. Carry out an in-depth audit of the selection process and execution of such covers by government assets underwriters with the view of eradicating this fraudulent process.
Letters were forwarded to the head of service of the Federation, the Minister for Finance, head of all statutory government corporations, affected ministries and registered insurance companies in Nigeria, requesting for details of all insurance covers bought on behalf of and sold to the federal government of Nigeria during the
years under review. Out of 85 government corporations that have been invited, only 20 has responded in correspondence to the committee. That is about 25%. And for the insurance companies, it's only 28 out of 56.
Chairman of the committee, Representative Adekunle Akinlade, enjoined all affected organizations to unfailingly provide the required information in the prescribed format on or before Monday, 10th October 2016. From the National Assembly, Ifani Izumba, NT News.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, is optimistic of the administration's commitment to addressing the issues of youth unemployment in the country. The minister, who made this known at the 13th Abuja International Film Festival in Abuja, says this will be attainable if the creative industry is given adequate attention. Ngozi Chude reports.
It is the convergence of practitioners in Nollywood. Their goal is driven to promote an open climate for the diversity of African stories told by different countries and filmmakers. Declaring the film festival open, the Minister of Information and Culture says the Nigerian film industry, with its international appeal, is a catalyst as foreign exchange earner and therefore should be encouraged to optimally harness its potentials. He revealed that government is working towards driving a strange mandate in this direction.
We are going to focus on the aspects of the industry that will allow us to achieve creation of jobs and development of skilled and managerial abilities. 2, formalizing and growing the export of all aspects of the industry so that it becomes a significant foreign exchange earner for the country.
Over the last 12 years, the Abuja Film Festival has experienced its fair share of challenges. However, the organizers believe the purpose of connecting global audiences in this edition will fully be realized. Collaborating with the U.S. and Mexican embassies, the 13th Abuja International Film Festival will facilitate dialogue between producers, cinematographers, distributors and actors from over 10 countries. The 4-day event is expected to screen 54 films. In Abuja, Ngozi Chude, NT News.
Exploring the gold mine inherent in Nigeria's creative industry is the theme of the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST 2016, taking place in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, South Nigeria. Observers believe that the theme of the event seemed to have been conceived deliberately in line with the urgent need to boost Nigeria's economy via innovation. Oku Ekpeyong takes a look at the theme of the 29th edition of the Cultural Fiesta.
NAFEST was established in 1970 after the end of Nigeria's civil war to foster national unity, coordinate, preserve, promote, and present the very best of the country's arts and culture, among other mandates. The festival is held annually and rotated among all states in Nigeria. As the center of focus for traditional arts, culture, and crafts in Nigeria remains in Uyo, for the next 5 days, analysts believe that the theme for this year could not come at a better time than now.
We should actually start thinking of how to generate our own wealth, even from within.
Busayo Akisoya is a graduate of economics from the University of Ibadan who produces adire, a trade she says has been running for years.
I've done it beyond this Nigeria. We've been to Ghana, we've been to Côte d'Ivoire, we've been to Sierra Leone, and very soon we'll be going to the US for an exhibition in November by the grace of God.
The problem we have is in the area of information. Again, the issues of tourism is treated with levity.
How then can creative industries rise to unviable heights through the exploitation of the positive dynamics of Nigeria's heritage?
People like you that have the media that can expose or bring this thing to the average Nigerian to see.
Stakeholders are also calling for the reorientation of Nigerians towards accepting finished goods made by Nigerians in Nigeria. This development, they say, will increase our GDP and bring us out of the present economic recession which we find ourselves in. From the NAFEST 2016 here in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, I am Oku Ekpeyong, NTA News.
Thank you very much, Okwe Bayong. You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come, Nigeria Air Force gets patent rights certificates for locally manufacturing a part of its combat helicopters. Stay with us.
When has it reached this? Much less this. And this. And this. And this. Help reclaim our Commonwealth. Lend your support to the fight against corruption for a better Nigeria.
Once in a generation, a technology emerges that transforms a nation. Close new 4G network is exactly that. It is by far the fastest mobile internet in Nigeria and the first with nationwide coverage. Government institutions and big business will have the tools they need to build the powerhouse of Africa. Small business will be enabled to make the big leap. Medical procedures will be more advanced and your home will become truly smart. With our most extensive national optic fiber network linked seamlessly to Glo One submarine cable, it is data speed and capacity beyond imagination. 4G will accelerate Nigeria's progress into the Super League, and everyone will see their lives change beyond recognition. The wait is over. Welcome to 4G LTE from Glo. Welcome to the new speed of life.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
Whether you love to chit-chat, upload, or catch up on the latest gist, or you love to stream live videos, or you love to download a lot, you can do it all whenever, wherever at the friendliest data rates. Dial *131# to find the internet bundle that's perfect for you and enjoy more data, more friendships, and more fun.
MTN, everywhere you go.
The family of Okon has been taken hostage by an evil-looking creature.
The thing just show for night. Yeah, big, where?
Come in. Oh, my sister, I was there what was happening in the news. We must suddenly brought back your family.
You think you can freeze them? No way!
When Amatem fought appear, malaria run for cover.
Amatem. Thank you.
Amatem fought against some gel capsules, tablets for adults, and suspension for Pekin. Amatem does not eat somebody and are very easy to use. Ayua, remember how Amatem fought against scratch pin to confirm the original and against some gel capsules. Amatem. Say no to malaria, yes to life.
The Commandant, Nigerian Defense Academy, Major General Mohammed Tasiu Ibrahim, GSS, PSC, MNR, TSM, CM, FCM, on behalf of the entire academic community, announces the convocation ceremony and passing out parade of 63 regular course, which will take place as follows. Convocation ceremony, Thursday, 6th October 2016 by 9:30 a.m. at the Professor Yakubu Mahmoud Multipurpose Hall, Afaka. Passing out parade, Saturday, 8th October 2016 at NDA Parade Ground, Afaka by 7:30 a.m. Admission is strictly on invitation. Announcer, NDAPRO.
Bayes University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees for a sustainable job. Bayes University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at Bayes University Abuja. So learn to live at Bayes University for a brighter future. For more information, visit our website at www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng or call 081 3376 9657 or 081 3376 9658. Bayes University Abuja. Learn to live.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain, fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching News Extra on the NTA. The contribution of the media in improving Nigeria's electoral process through ethical and professional practice in electoral reportage took center stage as INEC Electoral Institute holds its 13th series of lecture. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Benukudu reports that the lecture is aimed at enforcing related codes in journalism.
Actually, the Oba of Benin ward. This is where taking the statistics of the women on queue here for this purpose of a photo.
Typical example of journalists doing what they know best in electoral reportage. And gathered in this hall is a combination of media practitioners, electoral umpire, and also the political parties discussing this issue of electoral reportage because of its sensitive nature and how journalists could help in deepening Nigeria's democracy.
Setting the tone of the lecture, Professor Adigun Abaji of the University of Ibadan stressed the need for ethical practice in all stages of political coverages, de-emphasizing certification to professionalism in practice and above all prioritizing news value to commercialization.
To encourage devolution of activities, capturing effectively of all segments of society.
The presence of regulatory body of MPC and other media executives provided opportunity to raise fundamental issues towards engendering the electoral coverages.
And we as journalists must take up this challenge because at the end of the day, it's not enough for us to say, well, we operate in the context of corruption and therefore, no, that's exactly where you are pressed.
What do we need to do? Are we to follow the sensationalism of CNN who came to cover us in 2015? Without squabble, without anything, there was nothing to cover. But here we have to maintain the social order.
The Independent National Electoral Commission says the choice of the topic is to remind the media of its expected roles in electoral battles.
The claim of assertions. How can we strike a precarious balance? Or indeed, how can assertion be informed by facts, analysis be grounded in facts?
In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Benukudu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force has been presented a patent rights certificate by the National Office for Technology Acquisition and Promotion (NOTAP) for locally manufacturing a hydraulic diaphragm for its combat helicopter. Defense correspondent Isaac Nkrumah reports that this innovation will save the Nigerian Air Force over 36 $100,000.
Celebrated today was initiated by the Chief of Air Staff when he was commander of the 97th Special Operations Group SOG Port Harcourt to tackle a situation that was hindering the group's operations. It has taken 6 years to get to this point. However, it is a success.
The hydraulic diaphragm is a vital component to the autopilot system in aircrafts. However, in combat helicopters such as the Mi-35 and Mi-24, the wear and tear is high, therefore causing frequent ruptures, resulting to autopilot malfunction during critical operations. Finding solution to the challenge, the research and development arm of the Nigerian Air Force was commissioned to produce the hydraulic diaphragm using local content. The first breakthrough was in 2012, but it ruptured after 4 hours of flight. They persisted. Another was produced and tested. It lasted over 150 hours, beating the original manufacturer's flight time of 100 hours. Combat helicopters fitted with this made-in-Nigeria hydraulic diaphragm was used in evacuation and rescue operations during the Mali crisis, and since 2013, it has become a brand of the Nigerian Air Force, hence the certificate from NOTAP.
I have been monitoring all the helicopters that are flying with this Nigerian-made diaphragm. I'm very happy to say that they are doing extremely well. And I'm very thankful to God that something we initiated in Port Harcourt in 2010, I'm around to see it get to where it's supposed to get to. And that clearly shows that within the confines of Nigeria, we have highly skilled and committed individuals. All that is required is for us to actually encourage them and give them what they require, and will be surprised.
Another special feature of the product is that it fits both the Mi-35 and Mi-24 helicopters as against the foreign specification for each. In another development, the All African Students Union with headquarters in Accra, Ghana, has conferred on the Chief of Air Staff the 2015-2016 Kwame Nkrumah Leadership Award for his outstanding performance. In Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
In a bid to check diversion of relief materials meant for internally displaced persons in Benue State, the National Emergency Management Agency is re-strategizing to ensure transparency in the distribution process. Lami Ali reports that the agency's Northeast Coordinator, Mohammed Kana, visited some IDP camps in Maiduguri to monitor the distribution of foodstuff provided by the federal government.
Federal government, through the National Emergency Management Agency, entered into a memorandum of understanding with governments in states affected by insurgency on management of IDPs. Under the arrangements, NEMA provides dry food rations for the management of IDPs at various camps, while the state provides condiments. The agency's Northeast Coordinator, Mohammed Kanar, while supervising the distribution of the foodstuff for the month of October at Bakassi and Teachers Village camps, said the new strategy is in line with federal government's directive of strict monitoring of the distribution process to prevent diversion, which had in the past resulted to food shortage.
Each and every local government IDPs has been registered according to their local government, according to their community. And they will receive this dry ratio for 1 month.
Officials of the State Emergency Management Agency are in charge of the distribution at the various camps.
My thanks and appreciation must go to the Director General National Emergency Management Agency.
Items handed over by NEMA for the feeding of IDPs for the month of October include 36,000 bags of rice, 3,000 bags of sugar, 2,800 bags of maize, 13,000 bags of beans, and cartons of seasoning. Maiduguri, Lami Ali, NTA News.
With the return of peace to Maiduguri, cultural performances are now being used as a vehicle to promote peaceful coexistence amongst IDPs and communities in Benue State. Correspondent Muhammad Ibrahim tells us more.
The performance, the first of its kind in 6 years, tagged Theatre of Hope and Tolerance, is aimed at promoting peace through dance and drama.
The various displays, which centered on the violent incursion of Boko Haram terrorists on hapless citizens across communities and the attendant trauma, also depicted the relief brought about by efforts of security agencies and civilian JTF. the performance aimed at enlightening victims of insurgency that in spite of their experiences, they should not lose hope as there is light at the end of the tunnel.
People outside the state, they should now know that peace has returned back to Borno and Boko Haram has been contained for some time, because in Maiduguri for 7 years we don't have anything. So therefore we thank God and we want everybody to come back to Borno and see what is happening in Borno. Life is returning to Borno back.
USAID Mission Director in Nigeria, Michael Harvey, who expressed satisfaction on the conditions of the IDP, said his team will report back to his home country on additional areas of intervention for the benefit of IDPs.
And I am happy to see that you are doing well and that you are safe.
I think what you are doing here is impressive. Your story is sad but very hopeful, as demonstrated by this wonderful play we saw. And I'm going to take that story back home to Secretary Kerry and my colleagues in Washington.
The IDPs applauded the organizers for the entertainment and enlightenment, which they said has given them a sense of belonging and boosted their hope of returning to normal life in their communities. Similar performances were held at the Open Air Theatre and IDPs camps at Dalori, NYC, Can Center, and Teachers Village.
All the performances were rounded off with depiction of triumph of good over evil and return of normal life as enjoyed in Maiduguri. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
The National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons wants the international community and public-spirited individuals to support all effort geared towards creating a conducive environment for IDPs to return home and stay safe. The Federal Commissioner, Sadia Umar Farouk, made the appeal in Abuja while introducing a program for internally displaced persons, Operation Back Home, OBH. Chukunonso Mwabweze reports.
For no fault of theirs, they have been displaced from their original place of abode, and statistics reveal they number more than 2 million. However, with the present administration's degrading of the insurgents and peace returning to hitherto hostile communities in the country, the new Federal Commission on National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons says it is time for the IDPs across the country to return home through the Operation Back Home campaign.
IDPs are not only subjected to undue hunger, homelessness, but dehumanized. We must put all hands on deck to provide them food, shelter, and hope for better life.
But how ready is the Commission to embark on this capital-intensive initiative?
Our plan is to collaborate with all the strategic partners. We're going to work hand in hand with all the relevant stakeholders to see that these things are addressed.
The Commissioner later went into a closed-door meeting with the management of the Commission to strategize on ways of delivering on her mandate. In Abuja, Chukunonso Mwabweze, NTA News.
Member representing Ikeja in the Lagos State House of Assembly, Folajimi Muhammad, has assured members of his constituency that he is determined to ensure a good representation that would make good governance meaningful if pursued. Muhammad Folajimi stated this at his constituency stakeholders meeting in Lagos. Anthony Forsing reports.
Mohammed Folajimi told his constituents that the legislature and the executive, having formed a common front to deliver to the people what they yearn for, the two arms of government are at all times in touch to know what are the people's expectations.
We cherish your mandates so much that we have resolved to engage you always to evaluate our performance as your representatives and how best we can collaborate to ensure the impact of government is felt at all levels.
While the Lagos State's 8th House of Assembly, he said, has considered 31 bills, out of which 10 have been passed, members of his constituency in turn asked questions that bordered on security, community policing, power, employment and poverty. The lawmaker reassured them of the legislature's determination to work in synergy with the state government. This meeting is the second in a series of constituency meetings as introduced by the Lagos State House of Assembly. It is held simultaneously in all the 40 constituencies in the state. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
For parents of new intake into the federal government colleges, it is now a level playing field for all with the harmonization of school fees and abolition of discriminatory PTA fees in the various schools. The decision by the federal government is to ensure uniformity and curtail excesses in the administration of the 104 unity colleges. Frank Alzoma-Ola takes us through the journey and expected benefits within a change policy.
Before now, many federal government colleges charge PTA development levies according to the needs of the schools. This created some distortions in the system and generated a lot of ill-feeling between parents and the Ministry of Education. Based on this, the ministry took the drastic measure on the abolition of PTA development levies. That's not all. School fees for new intakes in these colleges now stand at 83,000 naira only, with a recommended PTA levy of 5,000 naira.
Unity School has become a place where people go to extort parents. How will you explain that a child got admission in Unity School for PTA alone? My son, I paid 40,000. I can tell you that entry for that boy in that Unity School in this Abuja, I spent more than 200,000.
A lot of people have the notion that PTA is a cartel. It should not be a cartel.
In many federal government colleges, casual staff such as teachers, cooks, drivers, security men and gardeners are in the payroll of the PTA.
The PTA can provide facility, but this facility that they are supposed to provide, it is a needed facility that government approve so that it is in consonant with the development of the school.
When I was in King's College, I received tremendous support. And my predecessor in King's College carried out an unprecedented development in partnership with the PTA. He built a 300 million naira hostel.
With poverty as one of the most pervasive sources of disadvantages in education, the federal government position is expected to reduce direct or indirect financial burdens on parents and discourage the pursuit of development projects in schools by the PTAs. This is not far-fetched from adhering to due processes and the acceptable way of doing things in the country. And so, principals of unity colleges who collect unauthorized charges from parents stand the risk of losing their jobs.
I challenge anybody to tell me that development levy is imposed on parents of a particular college without Congress approving it. I challenge everybody.
To me, I feel it's a temporal thing because of the face-off between the National PTA and the Ministry of Education. So by the time the two bodies comes together, I think they will have a soft landing, so that our schools will not be affected and our children will not be affected.
Franka Uzoma-Olua, Nta News.
Up ahead, indigenous manufacturer in the food processing sector on the brink of shutting down. We'll bring you details in just a moment.
Globe predicted that the future lay in data. They laid a dedicated fiber optic ring around the country, seamlessly connecting to cities, suburbs, and towns. They created innovative, flexible, and highly affordable data plans. Then, Glo launched 4G LTE, data so clear and so fast that it will transform the way Nigerians communicate, work, learn, and play. They can listen to millions of music tracks, enjoy thousands of movies, play online video games, and even watch live TV. Their homes have become smart homes. This is the new speed of life.
Enjoy the fastest data speed plus free world-class content at 10 gigabytes for 2,500 naira and 24 gigabytes for 5,000 naira. Available in all Glo World outlets and Glo dealers. Welcome to the new speed of life.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
Jets chewing gum neutralizes bad odor. It doesn't just disguise them, it gives you real minty breath.
Introducing new Dettol multi-surface cleaner for a healthy home. Some cleaners don't kill germs, others kill germs but don't clean properly. New Dettol multi-surface cleaner gives you 10 times better germ kill, 10 times better cleaning, and all-day freshness for a healthy home.
Germs, oil and dirt cause blemishes and uneven skin tone. You need Dettol Even Tone. It removes 99.9% of germs and is formulated to remove excess oil and dirt, helping to reduce blemishes. New Dettol Even Tone.
Jago for the winner and you.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Welcome back. It's still News Extra. Now let's talk business. A conscious effort to increase non-oil export to China and other parts of the world is yielding positive results, as the Director General of the Center for Management Development, Dr. Kabiru Usman, advocates a knowledge-based economy in Nigeria. Amechi Pius walks us through the light of business today.
Hello and welcome to Business News, and thanks for joining us. It's no longer news that more than 70% of domestic goods in the country are imported from China. However, what's news is that government endorsement of currency swap between Nigeria and China has been described as a step in the right direction. Some analysts describe the deal as one that will facilitate trade between the two countries and encourage investment.
The pressure on dollar is too high, is too much. Over 90% of transactions we do in Nigeria is denominated in dollars, and because of the scarcity of dollar now, so there is pressure, and that affects our own exchange rate too. But because of the diversification in the currency composition of our international reserves, renminbi is now emerging as an international currency. That presupposes that the pro forma invoices our traders are getting from China can be denominated in renminbi yuan, and that will go to a large extent in reducing the pressure on dollar and also boosting our local foreign exchange.
President of the China-Nigeria Business Forum told NTA Business News that trade relations between the two countries is improving, with Nigeria exploring and expanding investment areas where the country has comparative advantage.
We have also succeeded in bringing the Chinese to invest in Imo State. They are also in Oyo State.
China has signed currency swap deals with 30 countries since 2008. The Director General of the Center for Management Development, CMD, Dr. Kabiru Usman, says developing human capital is critical to the growth and development of the Nigerian economy. He told NTA Business News in an interview that when politicians, public servants and other stakeholders in government are sufficiently knowledgeable on policies of government, implementing these policies become a lot easier.
People they conceive projects, but they do not really articulate it very well. And funds are allocated, then you have so many abandoned projects, uncompleted projects. And that is disaster and costs a lot to the country. So even when you talk about we have allocated X amount on capital for infrastructure, and you go and you see the level of uncompleted project, you will be shocked. It simply means there was wastage, and there was leakage.
He therefore advised government at all levels, both state and federal, ministries, departments and agencies, to ensure training and retraining of personnel, adding that it's one sure way of achieving an efficient and effective workforce. And that's business news. Thanks for watching. The news continues shortly.
Thank you very much. Amechi Pai is there for us on business. Now, MTN, one of Nigeria's leading communication network, has officially announced the rollout of the 4G LTE services to its extreme subscribers with the launch of the services. MTN subscribers can now enjoy optimized wireless 4G broadband and a high-speed browsing experience, which is the fastest and most futuristic mobile internet access available in Nigeria today. Chief Marketing Officer for MTN, Rahul Day, said the deployment of 4G LTE will not only enhance subscribers' browsing experience, but would also key into the national objective of attaining 30% broadband penetration by 2018. The MTN LTE has the widest coverage in Nigeria, and the spectrum supports most LTE devices. Presently, the service is available in Abuja, Lagos and Port Harcourt, with plans to roll out to other parts of the country. All MTN subscribers wishing to subscribe to 4G should visit the nearest MTN customer center in 3 cities to upgrade their SIM cards to USync to enable them switch over to MTN 4G. This does not attract any additional tariff. The new Executive Secretary, Petroleum Technology Development Fund, Bello Aliyu Gusau, has reiterated his commitment to take the PTDF to enviable heights and optimal performance, even in the face of the country's economic recession. He made this known in his acceptance speech while officially assuming duty as the PTDF office in Abuja. Olajide Bello has details.
Relevant information as to the standing and status of the fund as of today.
Following the announcement of his appointment on Monday, 26 September 2016 as the Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund, Bello Aliyu Gusau officially takes over the mantle of leadership from Ahmed Aminu Galadima. The new Executive Secretary, Petroleum Technology Development Fund, Bello Aliyu Gusau, assured the management and staff of operating an open-door policy for ideas and innovations for PTDF to achieve its core mandate and set goals.
You are all aware of the difficult situation that our country is facing. So it becomes imperative that we need to prioritize. We need to focus on those high value-adding activities and those that have long-term and permanent bearing on the discharge of the mandate of the organization.
Ahmed Aminu Galadima lauded the management and staff for their support, high level of professionalism, as well as commitment to duty, calling for an extension to the new PTDF bus.
I assure you that you are coming to work with dependable professionals and experienced management team. Your experience in both the industry and the academia is vast and will provide the fund with the much needed synergy between the academia and the industry.
Until his appointment, Bello Aliyu Gusau was Special Assistant in the Ministry of Petroleum Resources and also Secretary to the Oil and Gas Reforms Committee, whose work gave birth to the Petroleum Industry Bill before becoming the 8th Executive Secretary of the Petroleum Technology Development Fund. In Abuja, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee on the investigation of alleged corrupt malpractices and a breach of due process in the award of oil prospecting license has given a 2-week deadline for all corporate bodies involved in the matter to make written submission to the committee. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports.
The ad hoc committee had requested written submission from the corporate organizations involved in the matter, including the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), which has been investigating the fraudulent allegations on the matter. This is to enable the ad hoc committee investigate allegations of corruption and breach of due process in the award of license to Malabu Oil and Gas, the revoke and sale of the oil block, and the illegal transfer of $1.1 billion proceeds from the sale, involving former Minister of Petroleum Resources Diziani Alisi-Madeke and the former Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Bello Adoke. The representatives of the EFCC and the shell company demanded more time to submit the required documents.
We will listen to the committee and whatever request that the committee is making from us will definitely provide whatever information you want.
That I've just been briefed, and I'm hearing some of the things you're saying for the first time. I will review this position and with utmost time respond to the committee accordingly.
We have powers to investigate all those connected, or indeed anyone in Nigeria. It's quite simple, it's quite clear. It is misconceived, wholly misconceived, to suppose that because you're a private organization, that we do not have powers to invite you and ask you to make written submissions.
The ad hoc committee was firm in its position not to tolerate attempts by any organization or individual who thwart the efforts of the committee in the investigative hearing. It further said it could use its constitutional powers to issue warrant of arrest to individuals or organizations who refuse to appear before it. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Erisco Foods Limited, an indigenous tomato paste manufacturing company, says it will shut down production in Nigeria for 30 days if issues affecting manufacturing in Nigeria are not addressed. President of the company, Eric Omofia, stated this at a media briefing in Lagos. Joy Ken Agbakboye has details.
Lack of access to foreign exchange, prevalence of substandard products, and inconsistent policies of government are some of the problems which Eric Umofia identified as barriers to growth of manufacturing in Nigeria. The Erisco chief executive, while lamenting the high cost of doing business in Nigeria, told newsmen that he has lost 3.5 billion naira in the last few years due to importation and unfriendly policies. These challenges, he says, has forced him to consider relocating his business.
I can produce, I cannot sell. I get money at high exchange rate, how can I maintain my machineries? Everything I get about manufacturing in this country to indigenous are being stampeded to die. I have no choice, we have no choice in this company than to still maintain our retail aspect of our market here, but production aspect of it must move out after 1 month. In order to keep my staff, the one I can keep, because after 1 month we are going to sack 1,500 of them.
Eric Umofia wants government to come to the aid of manufacturers like him who have great confidence in the nation's economy, having invested billions of naira in the system. Meanwhile, staff of Erisco Food Limited staged a peaceful protest against the proposed closure of the company.
It will affect 1,001 people out there. You can see the crowd out there. A lot of people are depending on this. It will affect even our markets as well. A lot of people are depending on our products in the markets to make a living out of.
Whatever they are clamoring for, government should come and look into it. Because if we lose our jobs at this moment, we are going to join the great number of unemployed youths there in the society.
Erisco Food Limited has a staff strength of over 2,000. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakboya, NTA News.
Economic experts say the nation's financial downturn on recession is surmountable through right policies and revamping the non-oil sector to boost growth. Talatu Ezerike reports that this was the standpoint of discussions on NTA's Current Affairs program, Tuesday Live.
Economic recession, a global challenge, dominates major discourse in this part of the globe on ways to get it right. Bodies like the European Union has advised Nigeria to devalue the naira to tackle recession, while others advocate the sale of national assets or cutting down unproductive spending. The country's economic downturn is attributed to factors like corruption and neglect of agriculture, solid minerals and manufacturing, which the Buhari administration is refocusing on to build a vibrant economy.
I know that good government is the only way to ensure prosperity and abundance for all. I remain resolutely committed to this objective.
Development, many believe, will propel growth for industrialization that should be supported by all.
Go to Dubai. 10, 15 years ago, Dubai was a desert. But today, that is where we Nigerians go to buy properties, send our children to school. We Nigerians can do it if we have the will. Mr. President, sir, I know you mean well for this great nation. We must diversify in the area of agriculture.
We must target the export markets for agriculture and solid minerals. More fiscal policies and programs to encourage industrialists to invest in food processing.
For others, the need to intensify campaigns on made in Nigeria products and protection of local industries.
Make sure that you make importation difficult. Engage the grassroots economy to create horizontal economic activities that will bring multiplier effect and trickle-down effect.
2008, American economy was in recession and threatening to collapse. How is America going to do it? We are going to support American industry. We are going to do whatever it takes to make sure that American products are bought all over the world.
Right.
Analysts say there are strong indications that Nigeria will overcome her economic challenge, particularly with the progressive actions of government huge investment in agriculture and the repairs of 4 refineries to save the country $10 billion yearly in importing fuel. Talat Ezerike, NTA News.
In the next part, more than 50 communities in Niger State sacked by flood. But in the face of flood, waters wreaking havoc. Correspondent examines how the waters of River Benue contributed to economic development. We'll be back in just a moment.
If we have lost the opportunity of 15 years, let us no longer lose any opportunity for the future. Our alternative is agriculture immediately and solid minerals.
We should be appreciative of the president who has again diverted attention to this issue of agriculture.
The present administration is determined to go back to planning, identify priorities beforehand. When money comes, it is applied to that purpose. You can see the results.
We are determined to rehabilitate our country, especially for our children and our grandchildren.
For quick and easy banking on your mobile, like checking your balance or transferring money, use our mobile banking services today. To find out more, visit us online at ecobank.com. Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Whenever pain occurs, you want quick relief. Try new Nurofen Express. It goes to the source of pain and gets to work in under 15 minutes. That's why Nurofen Express delivers fast and effective relief. New Nurofen Express works at the source of pain, fast.
Being a mom is great, but when your child has a fever, you don't know what to do. I trust Nurofen for Children to take care of my child's pain and fever.
Effective relief you can trust.
Every goal, every success deserves your all. Only 100% will do. Chivita, 100%. Chivita 100% juice. Made from real natural fruits, with no preservative and no added sugar. The best always believes in 100%.
Chivita, 100% or nothing.
Eat fish at least twice a week, including a portion of oily fish. Fish like mackerel, sardine, fresh tuna, salmon, and catfish are a source of omega-3 fats, which can help protect the heart against diseases. But remember, pregnant women or breastfeeding mothers shouldn't take more than 2 portions of oily fish a week.
Our latest edition of TV Guide is out. This edition of your favorite magazine will simply blow your mind. The package is loaded and our offering is quite illuminating. NTA has a new Director General, Yakubu Ibn Muhammad, a tested and trusted professional, an old wine that keeps getting better with age. This is the new driver of the digital switch over train. Get to know him more in TV Guide. And now, on our cover is one of Nigeria's most finest comic actors, Afiz Oyetoro, aka Saka. Peep into his world and you will see how he is porting from glory to glory. The change agenda of President Muhammadu Buhari, we did an assessment so far. All our refreshing columns and incisive features are a collector's item and research materials. TV Guide, available on your newsstands and in all NTA stations nationwide. Also in our embassies in United Kingdom, USA, China, Ghana and Egypt. TV Guide, grab a copy and give one to a friend. TV Guide, still your indispensable companion.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Go to let the change begin from within. Look at you, Ogeruola. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Thank you for being there. You're still watching News Extra. More than 50 communities in Edati and Mokwa local government area of Niger State have been displaced by flood. There are fears that in the coming days, more communities may be affected as the water tides continue to rise. Hami Sorogo reports that alongside displacement are fears of lost harvest.
It is a tale of the unexpected. Communities on the bank of River Niger in Niger State do not expect flood this year. The rainfall forecast did not say so. The trend does not suggest it. Yet, here they are. Their settlements and farmlands consumed in flooding waters. As we travel by canoe, we are actually moving atop cultivated farmlands. The water was there before the harvest, and that is effectively lost harvest. As we move, we see settlements sunk in water. Stranded children find life in canoes as their parents plead the waters. Larger communities like this one have been overtaken by water. Several of the inhabitants have run to the higher grounds. Those who remain look like they are living in a borrowed time. In the coming days, there is a promise of more flood. Why didn't you leave? Why are you still in this place? Don't you fear for your life?
I not get another place.
Because you don't get another place, you can't go run away for their life?
Which place I go?
The bigger story is how the flood cut short the dream of rice farmers in Edati. Can you see this stick? Now look at it. 2 men my size will easily sink in this place. But then that is as deep as it can be. But just remember, this place has been a farmland. This place has been farmlands where people are coming to do their rice. In fact, I told you that there is over 70 hectares of rice on this place. Now, this is one of the people who is producing rice. You say, how many rice did you produce in this area?
It reaches about 50 bags where you plant.
50 bags?
Yes, where you plant.
You alone or there are other people?
There are other people, not me, only me.
To show the actual situation, we commissioned a young man to pick rice from the point we stand. But the story is, what really brought about the flood this year.
Information came that water from Futajalo is high, so there is a likelihood we will experience flooding, serious flooding. So at that time, there's nothing we can do because we've already passed the information to our locals and they've already set into the farms. So you can see where we are.
In the meantime, Niger State government said it is taking urgent steps to resettle the displaced and visit them with the food and medication.
This year we're already at the month of October. So nobody envisaged that whether there will be a flood. And it happened now. And you know, because of the large populace that living across the river area, some of this issue is beyond the state. All what state could do is to give the people relief materials.
In the meantime, there are no estimate of losses as the flood is still in force. From Egati local government area of Niger State, Mohammed Hamis Rogo, Nta News.
As the federal government battles to reposition various sectors of the economy, stakeholders say this requires urgent attention is the nation's inland waterways. This is in the view of what economists stand to gain from its revitalization. Blessing Omeche Ebute in the report examines water transportation along River Benue and how it contributed to the development of pre- and post-colonial economy of the hinterland.
Transportation in Nigeria has evolved over the years since independence to date. This has contributed in one way or the other to the economic development of the country. In Benue, for instance, the River Benue, which is the second largest in Nigeria, has served many important purposes ranging from transportation, fishing, provision of water for domestic and irrigation purposes, and among others. In the past, various economic activities thrived as a result of river ports and a vibrant trade route along the River Benue. These business activities involve the movement of cargo ships from Europe and major coastal towns like Port Harcourt down to the hinterlands, evacuating raw materials and agricultural products after offloading goods from Europe and other places.
Then the waterway is very large and deep. You normally bring goods and offload in John Hot here at nearby Marine Police. Then after that he moved to Taraba and far to Adamawa.
At that time they bring cement, zinc, coconut oil, every article they bring them here with the offload them here.
These are silos that were used to store agricultural commodities for onward shipment via the river to the coastal areas. They have since been abandoned and are now relics of a once thriving trade. Despite the economic benefits derived from the viable inland water transport, many environmental and man-made factors such as siltation, collapse of marketing boards, and the construction of the Cameroon Dam led to it fizzling out.
Transportation during the colonial era was meant to evacuate raw materials from the hinterland to the port for onward transmission to Europe. And because of that, it led to the development of some coastal towns, particularly around this area.
Recently, there have been various clamor from different quarters for the dredging of the River Benue and construction of river ports to revamp the inland water transportation. But stakeholders say government needs to reconstruct the Inland Waterway Authority to achieve this great task. In Makudi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, Nta News.
The ECOWAS Commission wants member countries to find a lasting solution to the conflicts between cattle breeders and farmers. This came as the Commission is concerned about the economic and security situation in the West African region. President of the Commission, Marcel Alain da Souza, said this while presenting status report on the state of the community to parliamentarians. Joseph Orok reports.
The repeated clashes between farmers and cattle breeders resulting to thousands of deaths in Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire and Ghana were the case in points. To this end, the Commission stressed the need for a coordinated system for exploiting natural resources linked to transhumance to promote a conflict-free environment beneficial to both farmers and cattle breeders. The President, who was represented by his vice, told the Assembly that the economic performance of member states worsened in recent times as only 6 member states met key convergence criteria of budget deficits not to exceed 3% of GDP when compared with recent past. He said as the leading economy of ECOWAS, the economic recession in Nigeria will negatively impact on the region.
The prosperity of our region will be determined by the way we overcome the current difficulties, especially through our strong commitment to build an ECOWAS, peace, and shared prosperity.
The report was not without reactions from parliamentarians as they urged the Commission to come out with practical ways of waste management, challenges posed by insurgency and militancy.
Countries or states that are involved in cattle rearing should follow the normal developmental process globally and set up ranches. We are not trading effectively amongst ourselves.
The report covers mostly the economic and monetary performance of member states, infrastructural developments, political and security situation in the region. In Abuja, Joseph Orok, Nta News.
We still have sports and, of course, the global scene ahead when News Extra returns. Stay with us.
The production, distribution and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the spot. These technologies are being deployed to all the states across the Federation, as well as the internally displaced people's camps. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, and his team are committed to this fight.
The federal government of Nigeria, in line with its anti-corruption agenda and posture, will fight a total war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products in order to ensure that Nigerians remain healthy and well.
Lend your support and join NAFDAC to rid the country of fake drugs and unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Welcome back. Let's now bring you up to date with some foreign news as we join Ronke Kolawole on our foreign desk.
The United Nations Security Council says the former Portuguese Prime Minister is its unanimous choice for the top job after it cast the 6th secret ballot on Wednesday in his favor. None of the 5